Let's talk about how to support implantation and increase your chances of implantation naturally. So this is something that needs to be done and planned ahead of time. It can't be something that's like, I just ovulated, what can I do starting today to support implantation? The best way to approach this and get the best results possible is to actually prepare ahead of time for conception. I like to suggest at least 3 months. 6 months would be even better. Now, everything that I'm mentioning today is going to be in a pregnancy preparation checklist and implantation checklist down below. You can click that link for the guide and get everything in a checklist with timing and how and when to use each of these steps. But let's go through the steps and talk about the different ways that you can impact implantation and prepare your body so that your chances of pregnancy can be increased through lifestyle factors that you have control over. So there's a couple of different steps. The first is you're going to want to prepare for conception. This doesn't matter if you're going all natural, if you're preparing for medical fertility treatments, it's going to be the same. Nutrition is going to be a major factor, an element of it. Cleansing is another factor that we like to use. This is one of the reasons that minimum 3 months is ideal, so you have enough time to cleanse and enough time to help to support uterine lining and all those factors we're going to cover in this video. Another factor is supporting uterine health. And the last one is to know your cycle, track your cycle, and know when your optimal times for conception are and to optimize that. So let's break this down. The most important aspect of this to understand how to impact implantation is to actually understand the different parts of the fertility cycle and how you can influence and support those different areas of the cycle. So the first is going to be the follicular phase. This is the first 2 weeks, what we consider the first 2 weeks of the cycle. This is when your uterine lining is thickening, when your follicles are maturing, and when your estrogen is increasing. Estrogen is one of the main components that is going to cause things to grow and stimulate growth within the body. So this will stimulate egg maturation. This will stimulate uterine lining and how thick that will be. Now, at this time, some of the best steps to take and some of the best products to take are going to be reproductive support tea, drop cycle method. You're going to be using a blend called Radiant Womb at this time and stimulating acupressure points that are specific to helping uterine lining growth. And this is all outlined in the drop cycle method program. This is also a great time to use fertility superfoods. My blend contains maca, ashwagandha, shatavari, royal jelly, and this is all. Another great product to use at this time is Fertilica Fertility Superfoods. This is a blend that's going to have all of the superfoods in it that are specific for, you're going to have maca, schizandra, and royal jelly, and a couple of other essential fertility superfoods that are great to use at this time to help with estrogen production, healthy estrogen production. Wound care castor packs are another therapy you can use at this time because they help to reduce inflammation and they help to increase circulation to the reproductive system. This is a time of stimulation. This is a time of wanting growth, of wanting circulation to the reproductive system. And then the last is going to be self-fertility massage. This is a self-care technique that you do where you're massaging your own lower abdomen to help to increase circulation again to the reproductive system. Now, the next phase of the fertility cycle is going to be ovulation. That's a quick event. That's not really something that you have to do anything in the moment for. All of these steps ahead of time will have impacted ovulation. So important part though is to know if and when you're ovulating. So that's when fertility tracking comes into play. I have other videos about fertility tracking. I prefer basal body thermometer tracking. There's a lot of different tools and tech you can now use. I have a guide to that if you're wanting to use wearables to track your temperature and using apps to decipher your chart, or you could do the old-fashioned basal thermometer under the tongue or the armpit and keep track of your temperature taken at the same time every day. This will confirm when you're ovulating. It'll confirm and give you a lot of feedback on your follicular phase, on your luteal phase. So really, really important to be doing that to optimize implantation. Now, the third phase is luteal. So this is after ovulation. This is when we want a calm environment within the uterus. So this is when progesterone increases. Progesterone is a calming type hormone. Progesterone is going to cause the uterine lining to preserve and await implantation to occur. This is when we want to support the nervous system. You got the 2-week wait happening, and it can be really stressful at that time. Am I pregnant? Am I not? So using different herbs and therapies to help to just calm down and help to have the body be very receptive is important. Unfortunately, stress and high cortisol levels do have an impact on hormone balance, do have an impact on fertility. It's just a reality. I'm not going to tell you just relax, you'll get pregnant. No, but we definitely want to manage our cortisol levels because those can impact ovulation. They can actually stop ovulation from happening. So it is a legit thing that's happening. And then at this point, you actually want to stop castor oil packs and self-fertility massage because we no longer want to stimulate the uterus at that point. Some great products to take for this phase are going to be Uterocalm. Uterocalm is a blend of nervines and herbs that are calming to the uterine tissues, to the uterus, and this makes a very receptive environment within the body for implantation. You can continue using reproductive support tea. These are great herbs that are great for the uterus as well as hormone balance throughout the month. You can do drop cycle method with the Calm Womb protocol. So Calm Womb would be the blend that you're using, as well as the acupressure points for this time, which are supportive for implantation and progesterone production. And you can continue using fertility superfoods. Fertility superfoods contains nervines in it as well that are calming to the nervous system that help the body to deal with stress better, so cortisol levels don't spike. Now, there's a couple other products you can add to this program that you would use all month long to help support implantation, and that's going to be reproductive support tea. That is a fantastic herbal blend that's going to help with the monthly cycle. It's going to help with the uterus, uterine lining. There's the fertility superfoods blend that I talked about and drop cycle method. Now, one aspect that we haven't addressed yet that would be used all month long in preparation into pregnancy is going to be nutrition. Now, there's so many different aspects of nutrition that can have impact on uterine lining. Uterine lining is going to be really, really important when it comes to implantation. If it's too thick, if it's too thin, that can definitely impact you, especially if you're going through medical fertility treatments. That's when uterine lining tends to be a little bit more specific because they're actually watching it and they're testing and observing it to make sure that it's thick enough for implantation, and then it's a go. So when you have that kind of feedback, it's like, oh, what can I do to increase my uterine lining? Because a cycle will be called off if your uterine lining is too thin. So I have another video where I'm going in depth into how to impact uterine lining, but know that diet is one of the things that you can do in the moment that will have the greatest effect. Eating protein-rich foods, phytoestrogen-rich foods, iron-rich foods, increasing vitamin E in your diet. There's a couple other steps that you can take too. I'm going to cover that in a separate video, so keep an eye out for that. If I remember, I will link it below. You can download my implantation support checklist, which will take you through all of these steps in more depth and give you some more resources to understand each of these steps and when to do them. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at thenaturalfertilityshop.com. We're happy to answer your questions, and I'll see you in the next video.